What if I told you that one of the most talented teams in world football is heading straight toward disappointment? A team packed with superstars, a team filled with Champions League winners, a team that millions of fans believe can finally conquer the world. And yet, when you look closely at the numbers, the history, and the hidden weaknesses, a shocking picture begins to emerge. Because despite all the hype, despite all the talent, despite all the confidence, Portugal may have absolutely no chance of winning FIFA 2026. And before Portuguese fans rush to the comments, hear me out. This isn't about hate. This isn't about disrespect. In fact, Portugal has one of the strongest squads in international football. But World Cups aren't won on paper. They're won under pressure. They're won in moments of chaos. They're won by teams that can survive when everything goes wrong. And that's exactly where Portugal's biggest problems begin. Today, we're breaking down the 5 brutal reasons why Portugal might never win FIFA 2026. And trust me, the final reason is something most football fans haven't even noticed. Let's begin.
One of the most dangerous things in football is expectation. When nobody expects anything from you, every victory feels easy. Every success is a bonus. Every win builds confidence. But when the entire world expects greatness, everything changes. Suddenly, every match becomes a test. Every mistake becomes a headline. Every poor performance becomes a crisis. And Portugal knows this feeling better than almost anyone. Think back over the years. How many times have football experts called Portugal one of the favorites? How many times have fans believed this was finally their moment? How many times have people predicted a deep tournament run? And yet, more often than not, Portugal has failed to meet those expectations. The talent was there. The quality was there. The confidence was there. But somehow, something always went wrong. Sometimes it was bad luck. Sometimes it was tactics. Sometimes it was pressure. But the result remained the same. Disappointment. Now, heading into FIFA 2026, expectations are once again enormous. Many fans believe this is one of the strongest Portuguese squads ever assembled. The media is already discussing them as potential champions. Former players are calling them contenders. Football analysts are praising their depth. And that's exactly why danger is growing. Because expectations can become a burden. The higher people place you, the harder the fall becomes.
Most football fans love attackers. Goals get attention. Highlights get views. Superstars get headlines. But World Cups are usually won by defenses. Let's look at recent champions. Argentina, France, Germany, Spain, Italy. These teams had great attackers, but more importantly, they knew how to defend. They knew how to suffer. They knew how to survive difficult moments. Portugal's attack receives constant praise, and rightly so. They possess creativity, speed, technique, experience, but their defense remains a question mark. Against weaker teams, defensive problems often stay hidden. Possession covers mistakes. Superior talent covers mistakes. The scoreline covers mistakes. But against elite opposition, everything changes. At the World Cup, Portugal could face France, Spain, Brazil, England, Argentina. These teams don't forgive mistakes. One defensive error can destroy an entire tournament. One misplaced pass, one failed clearance, one moment of hesitation. That's all it takes. And Portugal has shown vulnerability in exactly those moments. Fast counterattacks have hurt them. Defensive transitions have hurt them. Set pieces have hurt them. When facing the world's best attackers, those weaknesses become dangerous. Very dangerous. Because knockout football is ruthless. You don't get a second chance. One mistake, one goal, one elimination. Tournament over. And that's why Portugal's defensive concerns should worry every fan dreaming of World Cup glory. Now let's talk about the biggest name in Portuguese football history, Cristiano Ronaldo.
A player who changed football forever. A player whose achievements may never be repeated. 5 Ballon d'Or awards, hundreds of goals, countless trophies. One of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The Ronaldo conversation never truly ends. Every decision involving him becomes massive news. Should he start? Should he sit on the bench? Should the team be built around him? Should Portugal move forward without him? Every opinion creates debate. Every debate creates pressure. And pressure creates distractions. The greatest World Cup teams usually have complete clarity. Everyone knows their role. Everyone understands the system. Everyone follows the same direction. No confusion, no controversy, no constant media storms. Portugal hasn't always enjoyed that luxury. Even today, discussions about Ronaldo continue to dominate headlines. Sometimes the focus shifts away from the team itself. Instead of discussing tactics, people discuss Ronaldo. Instead of discussing opponents, people discuss Ronaldo. Instead of discussing team chemistry, people discuss Ronaldo. That level of attention can become exhausting. And in a tournament where focus matters more than ever, distractions can be deadly, no matter how legendary the player involved may be. This may sound strange, but every great World Cup winner has a clear identity. Spain controlled possession. Germany overwhelmed opponents with structure. France relied on power and efficiency. Argentina played with emotion, unity, and tactical discipline. Ask yourself this question. What exactly is Portugal's identity? What is the one thing they do better than everyone else? The answer isn't obvious, and that's a problem. Sometimes Portugal dominates possession. Sometimes they counterattack. Sometimes they play defensively. Sometimes they play aggressively. At times, they look unstoppable. At times, they look confused. This inconsistency becomes dangerous at the World Cup because elite teams know exactly who they are. Their players understand the plan instantly. Their movements become automatic. Their reactions become natural. Portugal occasionally appears caught between different football philosophies, and when pressure arrives, uncertainty becomes exposed. Imagine reaching a World Cup semifinal. The match is tied. 10 minutes remain. Everyone is exhausted. This is when identity matters most. Teams with clear identities know exactly what to do. Teams without clear identities hesitate, and hesitation can cost championships. The best teams don't discover themselves during the World Cup. They arrive already knowing who they are. Portugal still seems to be searching for that answer, and time is running out.
This is the biggest reason of all, and it's the one most fans underestimate. Portugal isn't trying to win an ordinary tournament. They're trying to win the most difficult football competition on earth. Let's look at the competition. Argentina remains dangerous. France possesses incredible depth. Spain continues to improve. England has world-class talent everywhere. Brazil always finds new superstars. Germany is desperate for redemption. Netherlands remains a threat. Morocco has already shown what is possible. Uruguay can never be ignored. And there will always be surprise teams. There always are. Every World Cup produces unexpected heroes, unexpected contenders, unexpected eliminations. That's what makes the tournament so beautiful and so cruel. Portugal doesn't simply need to be good. They need to be better than every one of these teams. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly, against the strongest opposition imaginable, for an entire month, without injuries, without mistakes, without losing focus. That challenge is enormous. Even legendary teams struggle. Think about all the great squads that never won the World Cup. The list is endless. Some of football's most talented generations never lifted the trophy. Not because they lacked quality, but because winning the World Cup is incredibly difficult. Portugal may be excellent, but excellence alone doesn't guarantee success. History proves that, again and again.
Now, let's be fair. Portugal absolutely can win FIFA 2026. They have the talent, they have the coaching, they have the experience, they have the infrastructure. On their best day, they can defeat any team in the world. Any team. But there's a huge difference between being capable of winning and actually winning. Many nations are capable. Only one becomes champion. And when we examine Portugal closely, warning signs appear everywhere. A history of struggling under expectations, defensive vulnerabilities, constant media distractions, questions about identity, and the strongest competition football has ever seen. Individually, these problems may not seem fatal. Together, they become a serious obstacle. A World Cup winning team usually has very few weaknesses. Portugal still has several. That's why so many football analysts remain cautious. That's why predictions should be taken carefully. And that's why Portugal's path to glory looks far more difficult than many fans realize. Maybe Portugal will prove everyone wrong. Maybe this generation will finally achieve what previous generations could not. Maybe they will silence every critic. Maybe they will create history. Football has surprised us before. That's why billions of people love this sport. But if we're judging purely from the evidence available today, Portugal faces an uphill battle. A battle against pressure. A battle against history. A battle against elite competition. And a battle against their own weaknesses. Can they overcome all of it? Possibly. But until they do, one uncomfortable question remains. What if Portugal's dream of becoming world champions once again ends in heartbreak? What if FIFA 2026 becomes another story of what could have been? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The road to World Cup glory has never looked tougher. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Portugal can win FIFA 2026? Or do you believe these problems will stop them once again? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more football content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.